Hey everyone, how's it going? LiKeBuTTeR here, and today I'm going to be bringing you episode 2 of our ranked Hearthstone with LiKeBuTTeR. Now, usually I do these live, but I recorded this about 5 minutes ago, and I realized that I didn't turn my preamp on, which is kind of stupid, but I've been switching between my my Blue Yeti and my AT2020, so one has a preamp, one doesn't, so since I've been playing Xbox like the last 3 days, I've been using my Blue Yeti, so I'm not used to having to turn the preamp on. But anyways, I'm going to be doing this and kind of explaining what has been going on. So what I was explaining in the video is basically everyone at this level, and by the way, I'm level 15 now. I was level 14 last night, went on a bit of a losing streak. But everyone at this level plays an aggro mech deck, which is super annoying, a mage aggro mech deck. So I was like, you know, this is probably an aggro mech deck, so I kept my early game clear. And with this deck, you guys haven't seen yet, this is the Demon Lock deck. It can be found on a website called Icy Veins. This is just a pretty standard demon deck that's worked really well for me. It has really good late game. It struggles in the early game area. So I was kind of worried here. I knew instantly when he put the little robot gnome, whatever his name is, that this was going to be a rush deck, and also, you know, the Tinkertown mechanic. Now I know, okay, I need to make sure that I have as much clear as possible. So my first initial thinking was, well, I'm going to put out the Nerubian egg since I have Hellfire. But then I think I end up doing something a little bit different now. I end up just trading here. It's going to heal me for 1. Just clear the board, because remember, you want to clear the board as much as possible against these decks. I have good late game. I have Mal'Ganis. I have Jiraxis. I have a bunch of late game cards. Okay, really good cards. I have 2 taunt Argus cards, whatever they are, where they give each minion on the side of you 1/1 and taunt. I have 2 of those cards in the deck, so that can really buff some minions late game. Now, if I use Implosion, which does 2 to 4 damage and gives you a 1/1 imp for each damage that you do, if I play that card, right, and I have Mal'Ganis out, those become 3/3s. So, like I said, there's a lot of late game. Now I'm here just wondering. Now this was hard for me. Now I had to decide, and this was probably the deciding factor in the game. Maybe not, but I was debating whether I wanted to use Hellfire there. And the reason I didn't is because I figured if he did have one of those cards, which was the mechanic, or the Archmage, whatever it's called, where he basically does 4 damage if you have a mech. And what I found out was it was better to get as many cards on the board as possible so that it wouldn't hit the cards that I wanted. And so I end up buffing my Nerubian egg to trade with that, and then I trade here. Now, like, normally I would just go face in these situations. The reason I didn't is because of the fact that I know it's a rush deck. So I just want to get as many of their cards off the board as possible. And I still have my Hellfire in case stuff gets really ridiculous, because when playing against this deck, I've seen times where it's been 2 Snow Chuggers, you know, 2, if you notice, all the mechs, or most of the mechs, have like 3 health, so Hellfire is a really strong spell, and I wanted to keep it just in case. So here's a good counter card to that, where you just do 1 damage and draw a card. So here I draw Dr. Balance, and I know that as long as I can get this card out, I will probably have good enough clear, even though I think the bombs end up not doing anything at all. But here I noticed that, you know, it looks like she has a lot of cards, but you have to remember she got 2 spare parts from the robot gnomes. And here I play Dr. Boom, aka Dr. Balanced, and it's good to go. I know that basically, if you don't know what this card is, basically it's a 7/7. You spawn with 2 1/1s that do 1 to 4 damage on death. It's like their death rattle. So I'm pretty sure here is where I'm like, okay, there's a couple of things that could go wrong. I was thinking maybe Big Game Hunter. Big Game Hunter right now would put me in a big predicament, because as you look, I don't have too much clear, but she ends up frostbolting it and then trading, which is good for me because at least I cleared a little bit. Now, what this person could have done a little bit different is, instead of trading, I recommend just going face with this deck, since it's the only chance you have at winning is just going face. So here, see how you traded right there? He could have went face and basically done 5 damage, and I still would have been frozen next turn. You know, and then look, she had another freeze spare part. She could have froze Dr. Boom again after that, but she ended up trading, which was good for me, because if your card's frozen and somebody trades into it, I mean, I understand their idea behind it. They want to get the card off the board, but that's good because they're using spare parts just to trade. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a waste. So here, I'm thinking about using Argus just to kind of keep that bomb in play, but I end up doing something different here. Now, I'm trying to find a way where I can use this card. So I figured, why not just heal up, draw a card, and this actually pays off because that's a really good demon card. What I've learned about that card is you end up having to discard 2 cards when you put them in from your hand, but there are other ways. I have 2 Void Callers in the deck, which basically put in a demon from your hand. Now that can be really good and it can be really bad. I noticed against priests, and there's the Void Caller. I've noticed against priests it's a bit annoying because they have those cards that kill a creature with 5 or more attacks. So sometimes like it will put Mal'Ganis in like turn 3 or 4, and you're like, oh, that's really good, right? And then he ends up killing it. It's really annoying. So here I find out that he was using Mirror Entity, and it says thank you like an asshole. So, you know, winning this was 10 times better. Now the reason I did that is because I wanted to make sure what secret she had. Now, if she had Duplicate, which would be kind of weird for this deck anyways, if she had Duplicate, I didn't want to kill the mage or the archmage, whatever it's called, the 5/4 that deals the 4 damage if you have a mech. I didn't want to kill that card because if she gets 2 of those, that would clear a lot of my minions because, you know, that's a lot of damage. So here I'm trying to figure out where I can use Argus. I think I end up going ahead and drawing a card. Now this was a turning point here because I cleared this. This was a pretty lucky draw because they get the 3 damage and then do the 1 damage. She doesn't get a chance to use that card at all. So now she has to use something to clear this card, which, you know, in essence is going to put a demon for my deck. So I'm pretty sure after this, like what you want to do is if there's a card from your deck that has a negative battle cry and it's a demon, what you want to do is try to suicide that card and keep that demon as the only card in your deck. So obviously, if it's the only card in your hand, this is why I put out the 1/3 taunt. If it's in your hand, it's the only one. It's obviously going to put that one into the battlefield, right? So I noticed, you know, she's at 29 health. I'm at 25, and I think the best situation here is obviously to hold on to Hellfire. And I was gonna buff the 2 cards, but then I was like, no, let's do something else. Now I play this card. Now usually I save this card for cards that have 7 attack or more, but since she's playing a rush, an aggro rush mech deck, I knew for a fact that she probably doesn't have a 7/7 in her hand. So I went ahead, because even if she has Antonitis or Antonitis, however you say it, it's still not going to kill that card. So it's not like I have a spare part that switches now that's another thing. If my spare part, instead of making a minion stealth, was to switch the attack and health, then maybe I would have saved that card just in case for that instantly. But here's where I have the clear card that's pretty much going to just win the game. Now she changes. I'm not sure what her idea was behind that. She like kind of switched attack and health. But here, and remember, if you're going to use this card that destroys your own minion and deals the attack to their minions, make sure that you attack first. That's been an issue with me. I haven't been doing that, but I notice I have to get rid of this Wind Fury mech, and so I end up going ahead and just attacking with it, get the 4 damage, and then do it. And it's also going to put in my charge card, so there's going to be a lot of damage dealt here. So it's going to kill all of their minions, and it's going to put my charge card out, which is going to be a lot of uncontested damage. So I'm going to do 5, 10, 12, 13 damage without, you know, any issues, and also she has to deal with this. Now, I was kind of worried about Flame Strike here, even though I'm pretty sure aggro mech you know, aggro mech decks don't run that. But I just wanted to keep a couple of cards in my hand just in case, because I felt like this was going to be the only way I lose. I already have board control. What's the, you know, what would be the reason behind it? But I can't afford to, you know, draw another card because I want to keep as many cards in my hand as possible. But I end up not drawing a card there. I guess I thought I had enough in my hand with the Sylvanas and stuff. So here's where I thought you could have possibly top decked the Flame Strike, which would have sucked, but ends up using Fireball. Now she had a Fireball, right? Now think about all those times if she ended up just attacking me directly. Yeah, maybe, probably not, but maybe could have beat me, you know, without me being able to come back from it. So I'm a good sport. I say well played, even though I could have just talked shit, because when she stole my minion and mirror entity, she was like, thank you. So, whatever. We win. I actually could have done that a little bit differently. I didn't have to use the Hellfire to win, but I wanted to just for fun. And there we go. We won the match, so we're 2 stars on 15. If these videos start doing really well, I'll continue to do them more often. And as most of you know, it's only a month that the seasons go on, so we'll do this as long as I can for this month, and then if it's, like I said, if it's doing good, we'll continue it next month. Alright, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace out, everybody.